Meanwhile, plans are back on tonight for a high-stakes diplomacy between the United States and Iran after weeks of saber rattling. President Trump warning just yesterday that Iran's supreme leader should be, quote, very worried. Well, talks are scheduled for tomorrow in Oman. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, will lead the talks alongside Iran's foreign minister. This will be the first formal meeting between the two countries since the United States bombed Iran's nuclear program last June. To say the stakes are high and things are tense is an understatement. There have been repeated threats from the White House right up to today.
The president has obviously been quite clear in his demands of the Iranian regime. Zero nuclear capability is something he's been very explicit about, and he wants to see if a deal can be struck. And while these negotiations are taking place, I would remind the Iranian regime that the president has many options at his disposal, aside from diplomacy, as the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of the world.
The most powerful military that has sent an armada that is now assembled in the Middle East. For more on all of this, let's bring in Michael Oren, former Israeli ambassador to the United States. You know this region well. You know Iran well. What are the chances Iran agrees to give up its nukes? It has spent a fortune over many years building them.
Well, good to be with you, Elizabeth. It's not such a big concession for Iran to give up its nukes at this point, because many of them, or if not most of them, were destroyed last summer in the 12-day war that the United States and Israel launched against Iran. Many of the nuclear facilities were destroyed. President Trump said they were obliterated. So there's not much to give up there. But the issue is what to do, for example, with the already enriched uranium. They have enough uranium that's dunked underground to make about 9 bombs. And Iran still says it has the right to enrich more. So President Trump's going to say, first of all, give over that enriched uranium to somebody else, maybe the Russians, and then give up that right to enrich more. That's going to be a hard sell for the Iranians. But beyond that, the president is looking for 2 other major concessions from the Iranians, which are crucial for Israel and I think crucial for the entire Middle East. One is that Iran gives up its ballistic missiles, which can hit any capital in the Middle East. And by the way, can hit most capitals in Europe. In another decade, it'll hit Washington, D.C. And the third is give up the support for terror. Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror in the world. And these are very hard concessions for Iran because it goes to their DNA. Terror is what they're about. Missiles are what they're about.
Negotiators have made clear that this meeting tomorrow is just about the nukes. It's not about the protesters, because Trump's been threatening to bomb Iran if it keeps killing its own people. The regime is slaughtering protesters, thousands and thousands of them. But President Trump has made a lot of big threats in the past weeks and months, including threats to take action if they keep killing protesters. At some point, do the threats begin to lose their potency if he never acts on them?
Well, certainly American credibility on the line, because the president has drawn a very clear line in the sand. He's called on the protesters to basically take down the Iranian regime, to have regime change in Iran. Certainly that would, Israel would certainly welcome that. Interestingly enough, not all the states in the Middle East would welcome that. There were a number of Middle Eastern states, Arab states, who appealed to the president to hold fire on Iran and to get these concessions.
Well, there were reports
on the
Israel
program.
also did, that it wasn't just Saudi Arabia. Israel was also asking him to not bomb.
Initially, I think that Israel's concern, and I think that concern is shared by the White House, is that there be a sufficient buildup of American forces before engaging what you call kinetic action against Iran. Right now, there was one aircraft carrier there, the Abraham Lincoln. Another is on its way, the H.W. Bush. And you need a tremendous amount of anti-missile defense systems in the Middle East, because Iran has all these missiles and thousands of drones. And not just Iran, it's proxies in the regions. The Houthis have missiles. The militias in Syria and Iraq have missiles. They'll all be shooting at American ships. You need that defense there. So I think that was Israel's concern. But I think the other Middle Eastern states have a different concern. They would like to see Iran weakened, not being able to threaten its neighbors, certainly, but they don't necessarily want to see a popular revolt that overthrows the government. You understand, Elizabeth? These aren't exactly democracies, and they don't want that precedent set in the Middle East. So they're happy to have these negotiations right now if they succeed in neutralizing the Iranian threat. It wouldn't be ideal for Israel. It'd be better than nothing. But let's be frank about it. It wouldn't be very good for the people of Iran.
Ambassador, the regime in Iran, I don't think has ever been weaker since it took over. I mean, isn't this the time? Isn't this the opportunity to take down the #1 sponsor of terror in the world? All these terrorist attacks on the West, on Israel, on the United States, on Europe, come from groups funded and supported by Iran.
And it's interesting, Iran has no friends in the world, Elizabeth. And no one's coming to Iran's aid. This is such a heinous regime, even for the Russians and the Chinese. They're too evil for the Russians and the Chinese. And you're absolutely right. This is the world's largest sponsor of terror. And they're on the mat. They've lost their proxies in Gaza. They've lost Hezbollah in Lebanon. They've lost Syria. They've lost Venezuela. Keep that in mind. Venezuela was a major ally for them. So, yeah, they're on the mat. And they're going to be looking for sanctions relief in return for giving up their nuclear program. And that's going to be a big call for the president to make. Are you going to let basically Iran to revive? And once they get that money, you know where that money's going. It's not going to schools and hospitals.
Well, it never has. It's gone to the nuclear program. It's gone. That's why the people are revolting in the streets and protesting. And thanks to the Israeli strikes last summer and the U.S. bombing of the nuclear sites, Iran is on its heels. All right. Awesome. Ambassador Michael Oren, it's a high-stakes meeting tomorrow. So much at stake. We shall see what happens. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.